So, yeah, I'm doing a dark deception theory. Cool. So, what is theory? What is for the theory for today? This is the what is the next ability for dark deception? Okay, I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I sound really tired and bored, just because I actually am. I couldn't think of anything, and I thought it'd be a fun topic. So yeah, so basically, how can I prove that what is going to be for the next ability? And I already know the answer. So, but first we need to look, what is the game and what are the abilities? Well, in the game, you play as Doug Hauser, and basically you run around and run away from demons, pretty much. And then there's the abilities. There are 6 in total. There might be more, maybe 2 additional ones. Maybe we don't know what the future abilities might be, but the 6 abilities that we have are speed boost, teleportation, telepathy, telekinesis, primal fear, and vanish. I kind of got the primal fear and telekinesis backwards, but you get the point. Basically, each power helps us beat a level much faster and quicker. But yeah, and then the ninth portal we got the mannequins, which they're pretty creepy in my opinion. So how are we gonna know which ability? Well, how are we gonna know what abilities are we for future levels? Because I don't know how. Look, I was like standing there looking at my screen and being like, huh. I kind of noticed a pattern. I kind of noticed is that whatever the abilities that these creatures have, it kind of shows us well that's going to be our ability for a future level. And it's kind of maybe it's probably on purpose. Maybe I don't know because in level two we get the speed boost ability, and Agatha can teleport, and that's that's the ability that we get in the third level. And not just that, in level 6, we get the telekinesis ability, but the Reaper Nurse's ability allows him to become invisible. And what's the abilities that we get in level 7? The vanish / invisibility. So you don't think that whatever these creatures that we beat, we take the abilities that they had, and that's the ability that we're gonna use for a future level, which would kind of make sense. Because in level 1, there's no abilities whatsoever. But until that's when you go to Monsters and Mortals, where, happily enough, the monkey's ability allows them to run much faster, and then even have the same red effect that you do in the main game. So, there's that. So what about level 2? Teleportation, where Agatha can teleport. But what about level 3? Level 3 gets much harder from here, because there's really no visual abilities that the Gold Watchers have. Until I kind of notices that of all of the creatures, the Gold Watcher seems to be different from the others, because the Gold Watchers seem to know where you always are at all times. But with like the murder monkeys or Agatha, if you go far enough, they would lose track of you and they don't know where you are. I mean, yes, they're still going to look for you, but they go in a maze and don't know where you are until you're a Gold Watcher, which for some reason the Gold Watchers seem to know where you are at all times. You would know this when you are like at the corner at the corner of the maze, while the Gold Watchers are like maybe in the center or maybe in the side of the corner. They seem to know where you are. If you look down, they seem to run at you and like seem to know. What I'm trying to say is I think that the abilities that the Gold Watchers have is telepathy. Maybe they might know you are at all times. And what ability do we get for level 4? Telepathy. The same way that we see that the Gold Watchers say, well, we don't visually see it, but they might because they know where we are at all times. So what about the Clown Gremlins? Because if you don't know, in level 5, we get the Primal Fear ability. But there's also the Dreaded Duckies, which, what I'm trying to say is that basically, that in level 4, there's these ducks with no ability whatsoever besides able to run on water much faster, and that's about it. And they can shoot their long tongue, and here's the thing, in level 4, we get the telepathy ability. But here's the thing, though. There's no because here's the thing, though. If you don't know in the beginning of this video, I did mention that the theory is that whatever these abilities that these creatures have is going to be our future ability for the next level. So, for example, like in level 2 where Agatha, which we have the speed ability. Anyways, in the 4th level, known as the sewers, which we meet the dreaded duckies. And the ability that we get for level 4 is telepathy. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, what abilities do the dreaded duckies have that would help the ability that we will get for the 5th level? Because if you don't know, the 5th level we get Primal Fear, which is a stun ability. So what abilities does the dreaded duckies have? They don't really have stun ability, except for that long tongue thing that can stun enemies, which is somewhat the closest to our Primal Fear. I mean, they both stun enemies, but I mean, Primal Fear is just a shock blast wave that can go distances, and then the Dreaded Ducky's ability is pretty much just a long tongue. Okay, even though they both might be different, they might both be the same, but not the way you think. I mean, A, they both can stun enemies, and 2, they both can go at a very large distance. I mean, at level 4 when the boss, I don't know what the boss's name is, where he can shoot his tongue at very far distances. So far, in fact, they can actually go across the room. So, what I think is that I think the long tongue stunning ability is the same as the Primal Fear ability, but just not as the way you think. Yes, I know they're both not the same. One can shoot very far distances as a tongue, and the other one is just a shock blast. But yeah, but they both do the same thing. They both stun enemies, and they can go pretty far distances. So there's that. So what about level 5? The circus, or carnival, as it's known as. Because here's the thing, though. In level 5, you get the ability Primal Fear, which I would assume that you get from level 4. Like, what I'm trying to say is that we got the Primal Fear ability from level 4, because basically the previous monster that we defeated will get their abilities for the future level. Which is what I'm trying to say. So what about level 5? Because in level 6 we get the telekinesis ability, but in level 5 they don't really have an ability. I mean the clowns do have an ability which allows them to multiply, and that's about it. They can't do anything else. So I got kind of stuck, and I just been sitting there until I got to a dead end. So I just sat there and researched for hours and hours until I got the one. Until I kind of noticed that even though the clown gremlins don't have a magnetic ability, maybe it doesn't have to be like, because here's the thing now. Because the clown gremlins are represented as like Hershima, Harrisbet. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that they represent heresy, or whatever you call it. I just saw a video about it and I completely forgot what it's called. But basically what I'm trying to say is that if you don't know what the word I'm trying to say, heresy or something like that, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but basically what I'm trying to say is that the clown governments represent that, because if you don't know, every creature in this realm represents a sin. Like, for example, the murder represents murder, Ragatha represents wrath, and the gold watcher represents greed. Pretty simple. It's not the 7 deadly sins thing, because there are some that are different. I mean, there are 10 portals, not 7. So there's that. But besides that, you don't think that even though the clowns don't have a magnetic ability, they might have something to do with magnetic, because if you don't know, the clowns seem to really want to get you. I mean, yeah, other creatures like the murder monkeys and the gold watchers do want to get you. It seems that the clowns want to get you really badly, and you can kind of notice this because if you go to the end where you fight the boss, And here's the thing, though, if you go back to like the final boss or with the giant clowns, the Goliath clowns as they're known as, you can see that there's a cage with the murder monkeys and the giant duckies in a cage. So you don't think that the clowns are desperately trying to get us because they don't want to experience the same fate. Which, I mean, would make sense, because after you defeat a level, all you see, as soon as you go back to the level, all you see is, like, rubble. As if you destroyed the level or somehow escaped. So what I think is that every time we beat a level, we actually destroy the whole entire level and we actually pass and get their ability as well. But here's the thing, though. Soon as the murder monkeys and the giant duckies are in cages, so you don't think is that if the clowns failed their mission, they're gonna either experience the same fate or might have even being dead if they fail. Which makes sense, because every creature in this game wants to try to get us, but they self-failed in every turn. So yeah, but not just that, in IRL, if you don't know, in real life, clowns wants you to get their attention. They want to be near you. They want you to get their attention so you can play around. And they always seem to follow you. Like, they always want to get to you. Like a magnet would do, because a magnet wants to be with another. So I think that's the correlation with telekinesis with the magnet. I know it doesn't make any sort of sense, but I mean it does sort of match where they want both of them to be together, and it's like like a magnet, basically. I'm trying to say. So now what about level 6? This one's pretty easy. The repair nurses become invisible, and then in level 7, that's where we get the invisibility ability. So there's that. What about level 7? Which we get the advantage ability, but in level 8, we don't get a new ability at level 8. In fact, we actually lose all of our abilities. So, yeah. So you're probably wondering, what does it have to do with anything, me figuring out what the next ability is? I think is that, here's the thing though. For me to discover every ability, what I'm trying to say is that whatever the ability that these creatures have is the ability that we're going to have for our future ability. Like, for example, in level 6 we have telekinesis, but the Reapers become invisible, and we get that ability for the next level after we defeat the level 6 with the Reaper nurses. So since we defeat Mama Bear, and we did escape, so what about this? So you don't think is that if we go to here's the thing, what I'm trying to say is that maybe if we look to see what Mama Bear's special power is, that is something that we might use to help us to figure out what our next ability is. Because that makes sense for the rest of the enemies that we discovered, that we got their abilities from defeating them. So let's say I got Mama Bear. So we can see that Mama Bear doesn't really have an ability. I mean, I guess the closest thing is like we can get to her closer or something with that phasey thing that we get when she gets too close to us. But again, we have telekinesis, which already kind of do the same thing, so we don't need that. And not just that, there's even the trigger teddies who can, apparently enough, explode, which would be a really good ability, but since we have Primal Fear, which can already do that, there's no reason for it. So I kind of just been sitting there being like, until I kind of noticed, until we go to Monsters and Mortals, where we meet Mama Bear in there. Yes, Mama Bear is in Monsters and Mortals, which, if you don't know her ability, is called Mother's Loving or something like that. I don't remember what it's called, but I know what the ability does. The ability allows you to throw a teddy, not a teddy, but like place a teddy bear, the trigger teddy specifically, and if you don't know, trigger teddies can indeed explode. So pretty much, Mama Bear can put landmines. And here's the thing though, that's what Mama Bear's ability is. So you don't think that our future ability allows us to place down like a bomb or anything? I think that's what our future ability is. Either A, allows us to put landmines over the place so they can explode an enemy when they get near it. Either that, or 2, they can spy on enemies. Because here's the thing though. We do know Mama Bear's ability allows her and Monsters Mortals to put down teddies trigger teddies, which they can happen to explode. So, is that our future ability? Can we just put landmines all over the place and explode any enemy that comes near us? That could be, but maybe there's another idea. Maybe, I don't know if this is gonna happen, but maybe we can probably not just use it to explode enemies, but maybe we might use it to spy on them. I mean, here's the thing though, we do know that security cameras do indeed exist in level 7 of the Joy game. But we do know that we have to use Vanish to hide from cameras. Because we do know that there are indeed cameras that are definitely here. So there's definitely that. So I think that's what our future ability is going to be. Where we can put landmines on the ground and when as soon as an enemy steps on it, they explode. Well, they don't die, but they do get stunned. Maybe not just that. Maybe we might even use it to spy on enemies. Maybe we might use it not just to spy on them, but maybe we might use it to also self-destruct. So we can also spy on them, so we know where they are, so we know where they are at all times. And also we might even use it, which would make sense because in the 9th level with the mannequins, they are definitely the fastest. We only know this because through an interview that Vince said that the mannequins are definitely going to be the fastest enemy yet. So I don't think running them is going to be a good idea as soon as they are going to be the fastest. Because here's the thing, in level 7, Lucky the Rabbit was who had the same ability as us, the speed boost ability, and he was able to catch us, not catch us, but he was able to keep up with us pretty well. I mean, he was still behind us, and we were still able to outrun him, but he was still able to get near us. So I don't think running in level 9 is going to be a good idea. I think we should. I mean, here's the thing though, they don't have eyes or ears, but they might feel vibration because if you don't know, in one of the videos I saw from Super Horror Bro, by the way, great YouTuber by the way, basically he mentioned is that they don't have eyes or ears, but they might act something like a worm. If you don't know, worms can feel vibrations through the ground, which is going to be helpful for brains, and they know when to get out because when the ground is way too wet for them to stand. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe with this 7th ability that we might get after defeating Mama Bear, maybe this is the ability that we might get. Maybe this is the ability that we might use to probably stop the mannequins. Maybe our future ability is to, put landmines and maybe even put some security features so we might not just spy on them, but also might, stun them if they ever get too close. So, yeah, guys, I think that's what the future... Sorry for the voice crack. Anyways, what I meant to say was that maybe our future ability for the 9th level is that we can put landmines. And I mean, not just landmines, maybe it's also like a spy thing. We can spy on enemies. I mean, it would be really useful for the 9th level. But, hey, that is for the theory that I figured out what the next ability is. I don't know if any of you guys are gonna agree or disagree, but I think I agree, which will make sense because all the monsters I mentioned, we all get their abilities. Well, we don't visually see that, but we do. Maybe they might, because I did mention that in level 2 we get teleportation after beating her, which is something that she had the previous ability that she had. Same thing for level 6, who the Reaper nurses can become invisible, and after defeating her, we get the Vanish ability, which is becoming invisible for the 7th level. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, every time we beat a monster, we take their ability, and we use that ability against them. I mean, Mama Bear doesn't have any abilities except for Monsters or Mortals, which can put down landmines, which are trigger teddies. So that is definitely our ability, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the theory. I hope you guys like and subscribe. This will definitely help the channel if you do. And I'll see you guys next time. Alright, bye.